My name is Daniella Youssef. I attended Fayetteville High School, and the Simulated is a collection of ceramic works. The tactile nature of clay really stood out to me. Being able to 3D sculpt your ideas in a life form is really stood out to me. I mean, it was a process of trial and error throughout year 8, 9, all through to year 12. I think that everyone should take a bit from every assignment that they do, whether it be printing or sculpting, painting, sketching, whatever it may be, because some stand out in specific sections, others don't, which is why really taking bits and pieces out of every single assignment could truly help in year 12. At the beginning, I remember that clay seemed like a very unrealistic idea to me. It was too far in year 8 to me that I didn't take it seriously. However, I realized that that is where I belong, that is where I shine. It was where I stood out most, also from advice from my teachers, of course. Each sculpture explores a different feeling that various people might perceive depending on their personal experiences. My art making process was trial and error. I started off with an aim to link as much as I could through my clay work to anatomy. However, throughout the year, I decided to turn back to the emotional side of it, incorporate the mind in a physical form rather than just physical or like anatomical organs. I realized that through that, I'd be able to relate more to my audience. I'd be able to bring us all together and raise awareness on the detrimental effects of hiding emotions and feeling a certain way. There were a lot of challenges, of course. I did experience some breakage and misfiring throughout the middle of the year. However, towards the end of it, it all turned out the way I wanted it. I mean, when you put your emotions into anything, it does end up turning out the way that you wanted it. I wasn't much of a planner. I wouldn't sketch my works and then start doing it. I just went with the flow. Started off wanting to do a whole biological project, ended up with more of a sci-fi project. I did aim to make it as graphic as I could in order to truly enhance the horrors that individuals or some individuals might go through when it comes to acting a certain way or being conditioned by society. For example, when it came to the little faces, I wanted to interpret the little voices, maybe not so little, the voices that came from others. Don't do this, don't do that, act a certain way. I really wanted to show how much of an effect specific words can leave on an individual. Or when it came to the tearing face and the masks wrapped with rope, it's all to further show the pain, the extent of pain that an individual might feel. I initially started with the idea to create a life-size model. However, that was not a great idea. So I just decided to start off simple. I would sculpt the head, just look at it, look around me, try to see how I feel, how others are feeling, interview some people. And through that, I would try to add features to it, whether it be tears, it be cuts or screaming, crying, whatever it may be. I didn't want to make it all pretty and bubbly because that is not how it is, even though some people might try to show it that way. My work is very open to analysis and different interpretations. It could be seen as sci-fi or part of a horror movie, but the true horror movie is what individuals go through in their everyday to-day lives. I wanted to challenge my audience in a sense, give them that sense of relation to my work. I didn't want it to be something that you could look at and just go like, wow, and then turn around and go on with your day. One of the artists that mainly influenced me was Johnson Tseng. He is also a ceramic artist. He creates all different kinds of faces that explore specific emotions, whether it be between others or within the individual's self. He would explore real life issues like COVID, and he would also explore very intense emotions like love towards one another, whether it be one-sided love. He would use the effect of hands and stretching skin, and the way he produced it like really inspired me. If I could go back to the beginning of year 12, I would tell myself to manage my time a lot more than what I did. My teachers really did help me out a lot, and listen to their advice because they are always right somehow, always. So yeah, I would tell myself to mainly link to my emotions, even though it might feel a bit vulnerable at times. The best thing to do is to let out your emotions through your artworks, and you realize that many people do relate. I would also tell myself to not get too stressed out. At the beginning, I was trying to really go with what others used to do. Like, what did others plan? How did they start? When I realized that everyone has their own ways, I had my own way. As I said, I was never a sketch and then start working type of person, and that's completely fine. I would go back and tell myself to not waste hours on that VAPD and just grab a piece of clay and start, because that's how I ended up thriving.